Hey everybody, Steven here, Northwest Small Batch Brewing. Welcome back to a long time, I feel like it's been a long time, Single Malt Sunday. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff happening here. Can you see? I don't even know. Yeah, I guess I couldn't tell if you could see both sides of the can. Okay, so here's what's happening. I have a whiskey I had already tried on this channel with you all. And then I have another one from the same distillery. They got really good reviews, I think. And I have a beer. Here's the deal. I came across this beer and I was like, holy cow, that's the beer featured with this whiskey. So this whiskey, so both of these are Virginia Distilling Company. Brewers Coalition, I think they both say Brewers Coalition, which means that they've partnered with a brewer to make these whiskeys. This one, which I already tried with you, I'm not going to really review it or anything with you, but because you can always watch that. But I am going to pour a little bit because I came across a beer, and this beer is the beer that was made. Okay, the beer wasn't made into this whiskey, but the barrels that this beer aged in was what this whiskey is aged in. I think is what it was. This is a Stout Cask finished American Single Malt Gingerbread Stout from Hardywood. And well, it's from Virginia Distilling. It's Hardywood Brewing. Here is the Hardywood Brewing. I found one. This is their Gingerbread Stout. Imperial Milk Stout with cinnamon, vanilla, ginger, honey. Honestly, not a beer I'm not thinking I'm going to love it. I'm not a big fan of like baking spices in my beer, but because it's the whiskey that this was based on, or the beer, I mean, that this whiskey was based on, I was like, I gotta try it. Also, I'm not really a beer reviewer, so if you really want a good review of this beer, I'll put a link in the corner of the screen to East Coast LQ Reviews. I watched his reviews and I noticed, he got the same beer recently, did a review, and he did a really good review on it. I think he gave it a good, fairly good review, that it was good. So trying to decide while I'm talking here. By the way, you can clearly see this is going to go longer than my normal Single Malt Sundays, but I'm trying to decide whether I should have the whiskey first or the beer first. I'm going to say beer. I always drink beer before whiskey. Somehow it gets my palate ready, so. By the way, this is 9.2%. Oh, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Hang on. Hold that thought. I really don't know what I'm doing. Everything's off the rail tonight. That'll be interesting because I'm going to still pour the whiskey in that with a little bit of the beer in it, and that actually might enhance it. Anyway. The beer. Oh, that is... I just took a little sip, that was on the top there. And it doesn't even say, it does say, ginger. There is really hefty ginger just on a little sip there. That's interesting. Just trying to make room here. All right, good head retention. Nice dark stout. Good ABV on it. Nice head retention, actually. I mean, it looks good. You can definitely get the cinnamon. This is the problem with these kinds of beers is I feel like the cinnamon tends to overpower everything. I just generally don't like putting cinnamon in my beer, but let's see. Yeah. I don't mind the ginger at all. I think that actually works really well. I just think that the cinnamon doesn't work for me. But like I say, I'm not a fan of it in general in beer. I just feel like it just so overpowers everything. Anyway, I'll continue drinking on that. I mean, I'll drink the rest of it. But I would say it would be a really good beer if it didn't have the cinnamon. I don't think I've had ginger show up in a beer like that, and I kind of like it. I like that. The milk stout definitely has some lactose. It's a sweeter, sort of milky taste to it. Now, I already reviewed this whiskey, but it has been a little while, and so I'm not going to really review it again. I just want to see how it tastes, you know, because I think if I remember, it's been a while. Jeez. I remember this whiskey not really having the you know, it says gingerbread stout. You expect it to be gingerbready, and it's really not. I can't remember last time, but I maybe it's the beer, but I'm getting a lot of that stout cask off of this whiskey right now. Stout casks, a lot of times give a really like chocolatiness to your whiskey. Honestly, it doesn't smell too bad. What's the ABV on this? As you can tell, I didn't really take a lot of notes or anything ahead of this. I just was excited to try it. 50%. So, I mean, the ABV is decent for a whiskey. It's got some legs. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think it would grow on me. I'm going to come back to that because actually, that's really not too bad. How can I sort of do this here? Getting things are going off the rail. I don't even know if. Let's do this. I'm going to slide this on over because these go together, right? The beer and that whiskey kind of go together because that's what they made it from. This one's totally different. Well, almost, kind of, sort of. I got this, and at first I thought, oh my God, did I buy the same whiskey? This one says that they worked with the preeminent, well, it says they work with preeminent breweries across the country, working diligently to source exceptional beer barrels to enhance their world-class American single malts. This one, okay, so this is Foothills Brewing, which is different than Hardywood, right? So it is a different brewery. It is also a stout cask finish, much like this one. It is called, I don't even know what I can say. Am I allowed to say this on YouTube? It's called Sexual Chocolate. I wish I could get that beer and compare. I'm not going to just read the bottle to you, but I was just looking to see if there's anything like that sticks out. Mash bill, 100% barley. Yeah, that's all same info on there, so nothing new. This is stout cask finish. Let's see, influenced by the robust characteristics of Foothills Brewing Sexual Chocolate. Just 12 barrels were sourced for this release. Interesting. Which was first aged in ex-bourbon barrels, which is very common for Scotch. And then over 5 years and finished in an exceptional chocolate stout barrel from that brewery. Aromas of cocoa, espresso, toffee, dark fruit, malted chocolate, and molasses. Okay, that's pretty typical. What's the ABV? Is this also 50%? It is. Huh, surprise, surprise. No, that's a good ABV. I think that's you know, the distiller has to taste and decide what they think is going to work the best, but a little higher ABV tends to give you more flavor. Oh boy, I hate the foil on some of these. You know what I mean? Let's see. Hang on, it's still hanging on the top half where the cork is. Yay. Here we go. Huh. Wow, these corks on these sure are hefty. Glug, 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 glug. I'm just pouring a little bit because I have that other dram there too. I think these are synthetic. They look like synthetic corks. For some reason, I feel like the synthetic corks really are hard to remove and they kind of stick. Hopefully that's facing you if you want to see. I can't quite tell. Anyway, whew, it's too much going on here. All right, so sexual chocolate. Interesting. I'm kind of just smell this one too. Remember, they're two different breweries, so it's not. They both, are finished in stout cask, but different beers, different stouts. Okay. Hang on. This one is sweeter, for sure. Like on the nose, much sweeter. Vanilla, fudgy. This one, I'm getting a lot of. Those of you who drink single malts may understand when I say that single malts have a grain, like dusty basement sort of grain smell to them. And I'm getting that on this one. There is some of that stout fudginess, but it's not as prominent as the other whiskey. It's definitely muted on the nose anyway. Let's see. Yeah. It's good. I like it. But it's kind of like this whiskey, although it's very good, is muted. It's toned down compared to this one over here. This gingerbread one, yeah, far more going on flavor-wise than this one. So it's good, but if you want a more, less punchy, less flavorful version, get the sexual chocolate. Boy, I don't know where to go now. I've got all this stuff going on. You know what? I'm going to cut it short before I go too nuts. But anyway, that was fun. I hope you found it interesting. It's not too often that I get a whiskey and try it and then somehow come across the beer that was influenced, that whiskey, or the barrel that the beer was made in influenced that whiskey. There's another stout cask from Westward that's probably one of my favorite whiskeys, but I don't know for sure which stout cask they use because they don't tell you. But what this does tell me, just from this small sampling, is that the stout cask that the whiskey company uses to finish their whiskey in matters. Some of them impart far more flavor than others. I think they all give you a smooth chocolatiness, but you got to reach for it. For example, in this one, it's just not right there for you to grab. There's so much grain on this nose. I could smell this and tell you instantly it's a single malt. This one, cinnamon. I smell the spices, the cinnamon. I'm trying to put my finger on it. There's I don't know, but chocolate, cinnamon. I don't get the ginger so much. Yeah, I would say this is a much, much more interesting whiskey than the sexual chocolate. All right. That's all I've got for this evening. Hope that was interesting. If you can get yourself one of these, I know this one was featured and it's got good reviews, but for my money, this one is actually the better whiskey of the two. Yeah, so there you go. I'll be back the next time I have another dram to try, and I'll share with you my thoughts and give you the deets on it. And until then, sláinte.